Hello everyone, this is Scarzig, and welcome back to another viewer replay review. Today's replay comes from Melkorita. They went ahead and got a hold of me on Reddit, actually, and let me know about this replay that was available that they wanted me to take a look at. It's actually currently uploaded to their YouTube channel. It was a great way for them to upload it and make sure it was saved so that I would be able to take a look at it when I got a chance. And so this recording is ripped basically from the video that is on their YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and link to Melkorita's YouTube channel right in the description there. I don't think they're going to be getting too heavy into the Duelyst uploads. This video as well is serving as a replay review submission, also served as a test upload for their channel. So I'm happy to help you out with this review, and let's get right into it. Since this is pre-recorded, I'm not going to have the ability to interact with any of the units on the screen. Normally you can mouse over the stuff still while you're watching the replay. I'm also not going to be able to affect the speed. This replay is actually at the 2x speed, but I am able to pause and unpause the video itself. So we'll go ahead and do that if I ever need to take a chance to stop and talk about something. Hopefully I'll be able to keep up with this speed. So we can see here Melkorita has a really well-rounded hand. The Deepfire Devourer, probably you wouldn't want to keep this going first, but going second, since he has a lot of small units, he could probably get some value out of this. You don't see Deepfire Devourer a lot. It kills all nearby friendly units and gains stats for each one that it kills. So Melkorita takes the opportunity to move forward and do the standard double 2-drop opening by getting the center mana. The problem with this, though, is the Wraithling spawns in a very forward position, and then the Primus Fist is played here to deny this mana, which seems okay if you were up against anybody except Magmar. If he has Dire Tide Frenzy, this young Silithar can come right down here and just completely clear this out with a Frenzy, and by attacking the Wraithling, it would only take 1 damage in return to clear all this out. If the General has an Iridium Scale, he can equip that and get a nice Frenzy here. So this is, you can definitely take a huge risk, right? Because if this pays off, you're denying mana, and then you get a second mana orb for yourself. But against Magmar, usually the punishment for a play like this is usually too great to take the risk. It would have been better if maybe he summoned the Primus Fist up here or over here, where it was going to be safe from Frenzy range, and then you're keeping a body on the board, which is very important with Abyssian. You don't necessarily need to have everything in attacking range. You can just amass those bodies. And as we saw there, he simply moves forward, plays the Blistering Scorn along with his general attack to clear out all of those units. It's not quite a Frenzy, but Blistering Scorn is still very, very good. It deals 1 damage to everything when it's summoned, including generals, and because it damages itself, it's a prime amplification target. That's Magmar's 1 mana buff that gives +2/+4, but only to a target that is injured. But Melkorita is actually able to counter this quite effectively by playing the Blood Tier Alchemist down here. The 1 damage ping is going to take out the egg, and then Ritual Banishing will take out the Blistering Scorn. That's extra value because it was already buffed with amplification. So that's a 2 for 3 kind of because he was able to take out the egg as well. And his opponent's going to follow up with the Blistering Scorn amplification combo right again next to that. Now Melkorita is going to back off, which is of course the right play, and plays the Shadow Spawn, his Bloodborne spell, and then the Deepfire Devourer. The Deepfire Devourer is going to kill those 2 Wraithlings to buff itself. The thing here is that Shadow Spawn is a great way to get bodies onto the board that Deepfire Devourer is going to take advantage of. The key is that you're forced to play the Deepfire Devourer in a spot that's going to hit both Wraithlings. So he could have just as easily gotten a spawn here and here or something like that where he couldn't hit both Wraithlings. And in order to hit both, he spawns it in a suboptimal location where normally you'd want it here to body block for you. So he's not able to body block, but the Magmar General just has Eggmore for it anyway and takes it out. So Melkorita here is backed into a corner. This is pretty interesting. plays the Blood Moon Priestess, which is kind of nice, and the Demonic Lure is going to buy him some extra time. Send that thing right up here to the far corner, and right of the Undervault. I know that this right here was probably a godsend draw when he got that. And the Magmar General is actually going to gap close onto the Blood Moon Priestess, just take it right out with his General. He's been buffing himself up with the Magmar spell Overload, and he doesn't want him to get any value off of that. So here comes the right of the Undervault. We're going to replace the second Ephemeral Shroud. So now he's got a fully loaded, well-rounded hand here. This is, right here, you can see we're getting into the later manas, very late game here. And they're actually even on health. Magmar General's been trading into a lot of stuff, and with the Blistering Scorns constantly coming down, he's been pinging everybody. So as we can see here with the Black Solace and the Shadow Dancer and the Spectral Revenant, Melkorita's got a lot of really powerful plays coming up in the next few turns. And here we've got the Gloom Chaser coming down. He's just going to try to body block the Magmar General as best as he can, but that's not really going to work. Ideally, you'd probably want the Wraithling to spawn here to body block this fully, but I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. And especially when Magmar is rushing you down like this, there's no way to really play your units out of the way when they're not going to get frenzied. If he played the Gloom Chaser up here, he might have been able to save one of those bodies, but again, he's just trying to fight his way out of this corner. I also would like to pause because you might have noticed he used Flash Reincarnation to summon the Sworn Sister Lakian, and that is such a weird play. I don't agree with that at all. That's definitely a waste of Flash Reincarnation, and I'm not sure why he did that. Even at 7 mana, Sworn Sister was 5, and then the Dire Tide Frenzy was only another 2, and he floats 3 mana, I think, if I'm looking at this right. I don't have my glasses. Because this is recorded on top of another video, it's kind of blurry, so I apologize for that. But that was an extremely odd play, and so I just wanted to call that out. Definitely a strange play. So we've got the Silhouette Tracer here that now has Frenzy, and that's chasing him down. We get the Shadow Spawn. These Wraithlings spawn in a very frenzyable position, so that's really unfortunate. Fortunately, the Ephemeral Shroud is able to dispel the Blistering Scorn. And this is pretty interesting. Blistering Scorn is a 3/3. It's a 3/3 because it damages itself. So, it's like this. It's a 3/4 that damages itself when it's summoned. So it becomes a 3/3. He cast Amplification on it, and the Blistering Scorn had already attacked his General, and then was hit with 1 more damage from the Demonic Lure, sending it to the corner. So when he dispelled it with the Ephemeral Shroud, it actually dispelled the bonus HP that it had gotten from the Amplification spell, and that's what killed it in 1 shot. That's a really fantastic play there, to recognize that the Dispel would finish off the Blistering Scorn. Yep, so we have the Silhouette Tracer coming up and frenzying this. I know that he just couldn't resist killing those Wraithlings, but he could just as easily have moved the Silhouette Tracer over too and hit the General directly, instead of killing those Wraithlings and healing the General. Down comes the Earth Sister, and this is another fantastic play. We've got the Spectral Revenant here, right? That's a 6/6 with Rush. And he's going to use that to take out the Earth Sister. Just one-shot that. Spectral Revenant's effect makes the Magmar General take 4 damage. The Ephemeral Shroud's able to come over here with the buff from Soul Shatter Pact, and then take out the Silhouette Tracer. And throughout all of this, the Shadow Dancer survived. So unless the Magmar General draws a Mecantor Warbeast or something here pretty soon, this Shadow Dancer is just going to get farther and farther away. It's going to get harder and harder to take out, especially if he's able to body block for it properly. If he summons something on a space here, he'll completely body block for the Shadow Dancer away from Mecantor Warbeast. But Shiro Puppy Dragon's going to come down to buff the Shadow Dancer and the Vorpal Reaver. This is a 6/6 with Celerity, and when it dies, it summons 6 Wraithlings on random spaces. And that effect is normally like summoning, it dies, summons a bunch of Wraithlings, and that's exactly what Abyssian wants. That's exactly what Lilith wants. The problem is that Vorpal Reaver, because it's a 6/6 with Celerity, nobody cares about the Dying Wish. because if you don't just dispel it and kill it, it's going to hit you for at least 12 damage. And because of Shiro Puppy Dragon, it's going to hit for 14. The Magmar General just moves forward, plays the Elucidator, and attacks, drops down the amplification, and hits the Wraithling. Oh, doesn't hit the Wraithling. Gives the well played. The Vorpal Reaper comes down, finishes off the Magmar General, and that's going to be the end of that replay. Now, he had the Elucidator, and I think that he could have done something a bit cheeky there. If he would have tried to back off, well, let me see. He moved to this spot, and he was here. So, if he would have just backed off 2 spaces, it would have bought him an extra turn from the Vorpal Reaver. Maybe he could have drawn another Eggmorph or something. And even though things were looking pretty dire, I think that taking out this large unit here might have allowed him to slowly work his way back into the game. It was obvious from the deck he was playing he probably wasn't running Silithar Elder or anything like that. He might have been able to summon it into a corner and just wait and let the control game, let the Silithar Elder just play the game for him and win for him. But he just gave up, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. If you know your deck well enough, that you know that there's nothing in my deck that can deal with this. Maybe he only had 1 copy of Eggmorph. Maybe it's not an optimized deck. But I think it's important to play out your games. Don't just give up if things start to look like they're going really wrong. But that was a very, very nice comeback by Melkorita, I gotta say. That right of the Undervault was the key turning point there. And the Magmar General made that weird play with the Flash Reincarnation. But overall, being able to kite back properly, get the right of the Undervault, and then kite back out of the corner to the other side of the map to get away from the Magmar General was beautiful. So thank you for sharing this replay. And again, I'll link to Melkorita's channel in the video description so you can check out some more of their videos. I think he's got maybe 1 or 2 more gameplays uploaded. Again, don't know if they're getting too serious into it, but thank you for stopping by, and I will see you next time. You have a good one.